Hello everyone, you ever wonder why we let people push our buttons so easily? Why we hand over our peace of mind like it's a coupon code, ready to be redeemed by the next person who cuts us off in traffic or sends a passive-aggressive message? We say things like, they made me angry, or he got under my skin, as if we have no control. But here's the thing, anger, frustration, irritation, they're not given to us. They're chosen by us. And that's where the magic begins. See, if you want to learn how to never get angry or bothered by anyone, we have to start with one simple truth: we don't control others. We only control our response. And the way we respond to people is deeply connected to how safe and confident we feel inside. Let's break this down with a simple idea. People act out of their own pain, their own fears, their own insecurities. When someone lashes out, criticizes, mocks, or disrespects us, it's rarely about us. It's about them trying to regulate their chaos by dragging us into it. When we take it personally, we unknowingly give them the power to dictate our emotions. So how do we stop getting angry? We change our lens. When someone criticizes you, don't hear, you're not good enough. Here, this person's struggling with something inside. When someone interrupts you or disrespects you, instead of reacting with fire, respond with curiosity. What's going on in them that made them act that way? We often go through life thinking that our emotions are dictated by the actions of others. Someone yells at us and we feel hurt. Someone disrespects us and we feel angry. But the truth is, those emotions are not handed to us, they're invited by us. The first key to never being angry or bothered by anyone is recognizing that we are the ones in charge of how we respond. No one has the remote control to our inner world unless we hand it to them. And too often, we give away that power without even realizing it. When we say, he made me so mad, what we're really saying is, I chose to let his words or actions determine my emotional state. That may seem harsh, but it's actually incredibly freeing, because if we're the ones choosing to be angry, it means we also have the ability to choose something else. We can choose calm. We can choose to pause. This isn't about becoming a doormat or pretending everything's okay. It's about taking control of what you allow to live in your mind and heart. When someone acts out, they're often trying to provoke a reaction, not because they have power, but because they want it. When you refuse to react, you don't just protect your peace, you assert your strength. You set a boundary that says, I am not controlled by you. I choose my state of mind. The more you practice this, the more power you regain. Instead of escalating situations, you begin to de-escalate them. Not just externally, but internally. You stop being pulled into everyone else's emotional roller coaster. You start to notice how often people are just projecting their stress, insecurity, or pain. And that recognition helps you stay centered. Our greatest freedom lies in our response. We may not control the world around us, but we always control the world within us. Every time you choose not to get angry, every time you take a breath instead of reacting, you grow stronger. And that strength becomes a kind of peace that no one can take from you. Because you didn't get it from them, you created it within yourself. When someone criticizes you, ignores you, or lashes out, it's natural to feel targeted. We often internalize those moments and think, what did I do wrong? Or why are they treating me this way? But here's the truth. What people say and do is almost always a reflection of their inner world, not yours. Their behavior stems from their own pain, frustration, insecurities, or past experiences. And when you truly understand this, something powerful happens. You stop taking things personally. Imagine walking past someone on the street who's shouting at the sky. Would you get offended? Probably not. You'd assume something's going on with them, not you. The same principle applies in our everyday interactions. People project. They carry wounds and baggage we can't see. And sometimes they throw that weight onto others without realizing the damage they cause. When you make peace with the idea that someone else's negativity is about them, not you, you gain emotional freedom. You're no longer held hostage by someone's rude tone or passive-aggressive comment. Instead, you step back and say, that's not mine to carry. You begin to see others with empathy instead of resentment, and that shift changes everything. Not because they change, but because your perception changes. This doesn't mean you excuse toxic behavior or avoid setting boundaries. It means you no longer allow that behavior to define your emotional state. You become the observer, not the reactor. And that shift, seeing others' actions as a mirror of their own reality, helps you stay grounded. When someone insults you, consider what must be going on in their life to make them feel the need to tear someone else down. When someone criticizes you harshly, realize they may be battling a harsh inner critic themselves. When people are unkind, it's often because they don't know how to be kind to themselves. This mindset allows you to respond from a place of power and compassion. You stop defending yourself against imaginary attacks and start seeing people for who they truly are, human beings trying to cope with life just like you. And that clarity makes you less angry, less reactive, and far more at peace. Because the moment you stop absorbing their chaos, you start protecting your calm. Emotional intelligence isn't just about being smart with feelings, it's about using those feelings wisely. One of the most powerful traits of emotionally intelligent people is their ability to pause and respond rather than react impulsively. Reactions are immediate, emotional, and often regrettable. They come from a place of ego, defense, or insecurity. Responses, on the other hand, are thoughtful. They come after reflection, after breathing, after choosing how to act rather than letting the moment control you. When we react to someone's words or actions, we're giving them control over us. They push a button and we explode. They say something offhanded and we spiral. It's like we're puppets pulled by invisible emotional strings. But when we respond, we cut those strings. We say, I see what's happening, but I'm not going to lose myself in it. That's real power, not yelling the loudest, not getting even, but staying composed when others expect you to lose it. Think of it this way: reaction is instinct. Response is leadership. Whether you're at work, at home, or just living life, how you respond to people defines how much influence you truly have, not over them, but over yourself. Emotional intelligence teaches us to create space between stimulus and action. That space is where growth happens. That space is where peace begins. It doesn't mean you don't feel anger or frustration. It means you become aware of those emotions without letting them drive your behavior. You might feel annoyed, but instead of snapping, you ask, what's the best way to handle this? You might feel disrespected, but instead of retaliating, you calmly set a boundary. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. Emotionally intelligent people aren't saints. They've just practiced awareness. They know that being provoked doesn't mean you have to be provoked. They've learned that silence can speak louder than shouting, that a pause can be more powerful than a punchline. By choosing to respond instead of react, you become someone who others trust, respect, and follow. Not because you dominate the room, because you own your presence. And the more you practice this, the more unshakable you become, not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. Peace is not something that magically appears when everyone starts treating us better. It's not the result of perfect circumstances or ideal relationships. Peace is a personal decision, a daily commitment to protect your inner world no matter what's happening around you. It's a mindset that says, I won't let someone else's storm disturb my calm. And that choice gives you more freedom than anything else in life. Many people wait for peace to arrive externally. They think, once people stop bothering me, once my coworkers act respectfully, once my family understands me, then I'll be calm. But that's a fragile peace. It depends entirely on conditions you can't control. True peace isn't dependent on what others do. It's rooted in your ability to choose how much of your energy you give away. The moment you decide that your peace is non-negotiable, you stop letting every little comment, glare, or opinion shake you. This doesn't mean becoming passive or ignoring real issues. It means responding from a place of clarity instead of chaos. You can set boundaries firmly without raising your voice. You can disagree without being disrespectful. You can walk away from toxic conversations without guilt or regret. Why? Because your peace is more valuable than your pride. When you realize that peace is a choice, you become less reactive and more intentional. You stop entering arguments that don't matter. You stop proving points to people who aren't listening. You stop explaining yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you. And as you do, you gain a new kind of strength, quiet, grounded, and powerful. You'll notice that the more you protect your peace, the more others respect it. Not everyone will understand it, but many will feel it. And slowly the energy around you shifts. Your calm becomes a mirror. Your presence becomes an anchor. You stop being the person who's constantly drained by others and start being the one who lifts the room just by being there. Peace isn't given. It's claimed. It's not about what's happening around you. It's about what you allow within you. And when you stop letting external noise shake your internal state, you don't just survive, you lead, you inspire, and you thrive.